Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gamers of all ages, welcome to the channel. My name is Silent Gamer and today I'm helping you guys choose which nation to go for in War Thunder's realistic battles. So, stay tuned. So, starting with our first nation, which is the USA, and this is the nation that I went for when I started playing the game. I was under like the influence of that America has the best war technology, and it does in our modern days. It really has a lot of great technology, and I was baffled, USA or USSR at the start, because they're the major leading power when it comes to technology, especially in air. But in War Thunder, that didn't work for me, because War Thunder requires a lot of game knowledge and experience, so you can start getting your dogfights more efficiently. So with the Americans, you got a ton of diversity when it comes to planes. For now, I'm going to talk about fighters. I'm going to leave the attackers and the bombers for a video, like a separate video if you want, but now it's just mainly fighters. So, the Americans, what is their biggest strength? Well, they have a lot of guns and they're extremely fast. They're the muscle cars of the sky. You can basically outrun every single plane with the American planes. And like I said before, they have great power. The 50 cals on the USA, well, you'll find out that the USA uses 50 cals really heavily in their planes. That gives it a great advantage, because in my honest opinion, I feel like 50 cals are easy to aim and they're great for setting targets on fire, especially when you get to the later 50 cals, when you get to the jets. The M3 50 cals, they have great muzzle velocity. They are really fast and they shred wings to pieces. So, what are the disadvantages of the Americans? Well, the Americans are, well, they're slow when they're climbing, which makes them an easy target, especially like when climbing to the battlefield. So, when you go for the Americans, I really could recommend that you side climb. And I'm going to do a video about tactics and how to use your plane, like your planes in the game. But other than that, like I said, they have a really terrible climb. For a lot of planes, a good majority of planes, they have a terrible climb rate. Other than that, they have a terrible, like the worst turn time inside like in the game. A lot of planes can outturn you. A lot of German planes can outturn you. Japanese, well, they can outturn everyone, but I'll get to that later. So, if you're going with the USA, just remember that you have great speed. You can outrun everyone, especially when you get to altitude. Main tactics to use are boom and zooms and energy fighting, like quick engages and disengages. And what's boom and zoom actually is, if you don't know the term, it's basically climbing above your enemy, diving down, shooting them. If you don't get the kill, just extend away and like do a loop or regain your altitude and then strike back. Going on to the Russian planes, a lot of people in this game think that there is a Russian bias, but seriously, sometimes it feels like it, but no. I do believe that the Russian planes are really strong, especially with the Yak line. With the Yak line, you don't get a lot of diversity, just like the Germans. It's basically the same planes, like Yak 9s and Yak 3s all the way. They are really agile. They can turn, as long as you have energy, of course. They can roll, which is really great. They have nose mounted armaments, which makes them really easy to aim and to get those precise shots that you need. On the second column, you have the MiG line, which are really magnificent planes. They don't turn. They don't like to turn at all, but they love speed. Once you go at a high speed, gain that energy, Seriously, not a lot of planes can catch you except for American planes, and not the earlier American planes, of course, but they are great. And at a lower tier, they get Shva cannons, like 20mm cannons. They're not that reliable. Like the Russians that have their Shva cannons, they spark a lot. They're not very effective, but at a low BR, cannons are OP. Going on to the I-185, this is where the Russians get their boom and zoomers slash extreme energy fighters. The I-185s are, I prefer to use them as boom and zoomers. They have really powerful engines, they go really fast, and they are amazing for boom and zooming tactics. When it comes to the LA line, honestly I don't know how to play the LAs in the Russian line, but I don't know. To me they feel like a mix between yaks, but they're more for a like an energy fighting tactic. They like high altitude and, well, not that high altitude, but they're still really effective. The downsides with the yaks and the Russians in general, they tend to rip their wings in a dive really easily. Once you pass 600 kph, your plane starts to lock up, and it's going to rip its wings really easily. That's why it is very advisable to go at a 3,000 to 4,000 meters of altitude and not to exceed that, because your plane starts to perform really badly at high altitudes. They're basically low to medium altitude fighters, but overall they're really great fighters. Really enjoyable to fly. If you want something dogfighty but at the same time has an engine power, go for the Russians. It's not that bad of a for a starter, for a War Thunder player. Moving on to the British are completely amazing. I remember the first time that I was playing the British, I didn't like the Hurricane, although it has a lot of guns, 7.7mm. I don't like Hurricanes. I don't know how to play them. They have terrible climb rate. Yeah, they're not for me. But once you get down to the Spitfires, however, they are a joy to fly. If you really like dogfighting, if you really like being that furball, pulling off all of these crazy maneuvers, Spitfires are the best choice for you if you want to go with the Allies. They perform really good at medium to high-ish altitude. They're not that great at high altitude, but you can push them like up there, maybe bait one of the higher planes above you down to get you, and then you can easily turn on them, really like kill them really easily. The Hurricane line, I don't know how to play the Hurricanes at all, but when it comes to the Typhoons, they're basically like Focke-Wulfs. They are hit and run vehicles, although you don't have a lot of Typhoons, but yeah, especially the Typhoon Mark 1B late, I don't like that plane. The guns are on the wings are really spaced out, and they don't give you that condensed fire that you need. Plus the 20mm Hispanos Mark 2s, once they hit, you have, it's basically an RNG type of gun. It does not shred planes consistently like the cannons on the BF-109s, for example, the Mark 151s, but still, they're really good planes. If you want to use them as ground pounders, they can be used as ground pounders, and once you get to the Tempests, and they're fantastic. They're extremely fun to fly, especially the Tempest Mark II. That plane is extremely fast. It can keep up with a lot of jets. It has good cannons. The Hispano Mark Vs, they're amazing. They can shred targets really easily. But overall, they're great. Going to the Firefly line, I don't really play the Fireflies and the Firebrand and those kind of planes. I feel like they're ground attackers. I don't use them that much in dogfighting. I don't use them at all. But I really loved the Sea Fire, which is basically a Griffin Spitfire at a slightly lower BR. The disadvantages with the British line is there is not a lot of diversity, like I said. Once you get to the later Spitfires, the guns are not that amazing. I mean the Spitfires, especially in the rank 4, they get like the LF Mark 9, they get two 20mm Hispano cannons, and the Mark 2s are not that reliable, and 250 cals, and it doesn't pack a lot of punch. You need to get closer to your enemy, which is something that you can do with the Spitfires against the 109s and the Italians, but you really need to know how to aim with this. 7.7s are used extensively with the like the other Spitfires, but I don't really like them. They're not that effective for my playstyle. In my opinion, I like to go in there, get a quick kill, just one shot, and extend away, and that is like how I like to play it. However, once you get to the Spitfires Mark 22 and Mark 24, you'll get those 4 Hispano cannons which are really great. Other than that, like I said, they don't perform really great at high altitudes, which gives you a disadvantage against 109s, because they're going to, you can be above them, especially with the later Spitfires like the LF Mark 9, but it is not recommended that you climb really high with the Spitfires, because you will lose a lot of energy in the Spitfire at really high altitudes. Moving on to the French vehicles, at rank 1 you're going to grind a lot. I don't know why War Thunder is including a lot of French planes at rank 1, but honestly, they're not that bad. They can turn, they can climb, they have the firepower for it. They're not that bad. To be completely honest, they're not bad at all. But once you get to the rank 3 to rank 4 planes, you can see that there is a lot of American and Allied planes involved in the French tree, which really gives you a combined experience when it comes to Allies, because I feel like the French takes all of the Allied planes, combines them in one nation, and just says, hey, go have fun. French planes, they have a lot of diversity in them, and they're really amazing agile fighters. Not all of them are agile. You need that game experience, like I said, that game knowledge, how to energy fight, but still the French are one of the best nations that I've ever flown. So, coming to the end of this video, all I want to say is that War Thunder really requires skill, really requires game knowledge. It's not arcadey when you go to a realistic. It's not going to be like any other game like Battlefield or like Call of Duty or whatever. It really challenges your skill, and there is a learning curve to it, but it's really great. This game is really awesome when it comes to its air tree. Plus, a lot of planes there, so especially the premium ones, they're not like a pay-to-win premium, if you get what I mean. It's not going to be overpowered. You're going to have a unique plane, that's for sure, but it's not completely overpowered, at least on the majority of planes. But seriously, War Thunder needs you to have that game knowledge and the basics of flying, so you can get really efficient in air realistic. So guys, I hope that you enjoyed, I hope that you benefited from the video. Leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, do whatever you want. And I guess I'll see you on the next one.